I guess most people don't hate AI. They hate how it shows up in their lives. From your perspective, why does so much AI feel intrusive, gimmicky, or exhausting instead of insightful?
I just think there's been a lot of confusion. I think everyone has been talking about AI. AI has become a buzzword, and if anything, the majority of the market, when it comes to especially AI hardware-led products, haven't seen the real kind of user benefits. But we saw, I think, AI in the last kind of 2 to 3 years went from kind of labs to household. Like my mother-in-law last time was kind of searching on ChatGPT. So I think we've seen already some of that kind of change being driven, but as a whole, it has been embraced more as a buzzword versus kind of the real function. But that's on its way, and this is why for us at Nothing, we try really to focus on kind of meaningful features versus kind of showcasing features that have been actually using AI for the quite a few years. It's not new. Like AI has been part of our software camera for the longest period of time. So AI has been around for long. It's just become this kind of buzzword. But yeah, a lot to be changed, and hopefully delivering clear added value to the users like ChatGPT has done. And we saw that adoption, and I think a lot more to come.
And Nothing has been very vocal about building AI that reduces cognitive load instead of adding more features, right? How do you decide what not to build when the tech makes almost everything possible?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just being quite precise in terms of your direction and how you do things. I think AI will drastically help in terms of kind of decluttering this kind of digital world of ours, which feels quite kind of overwhelming and will help towards kind of productivity. And those are the areas we've kind of been focusing. And for instance, our kind of first AI-led feature was essential space, and basically it acts almost as a second memory. On your phone, you tend to kind of write notes. You think of something, you kind of record something. You see like a flyer, you will take a picture, you will take like screenshots and so on. But all those kind of tend to sit different parts within your smartphone. So essential space basically kind of is like one space where you dump everything. It sort of makes sense. It helps kind of organize your thoughts. It kind of writes action reminders as well. Like let's say I see an event, I'm taking a picture so I can remind myself of it. Then Essential Space would automatically, send you a reminder to book your ticket or when that event is happening. So that's the kind of initial approach. And now we recently, actually yesterday, introduced Essential Apps beta. So now everyone feel, they have their own agendas, right? Of course, they deliver a lot of functionality, but there's almost sometimes a conflict of interest for the user. So now we're kind of enabling users to create their own apps tailored to their own specific needs and context. So, for instance, one example we've been using, I've been trying to run a marathon, but it's always hard to kind of associate my calendar with the weather, with my travel, and so on. So I was able to kind of just prompt an app that kind of syncs my calendar with my training plan, with the weather, and suggests me when I should be training across the week.
And
So
it's done.
hyper kind of contextualized and personalized.
Yeah.
So that's how we think about AI, how we can deliver real function, and not so much about kind of promoting it per se. It's just for us is the feature.
Sure.
That's what the user doesn't need to know about what tool is enabled that feature behind.
Yeah, absolutely. But AI is becoming more and more personal by the day, right? Like reading messages, organizing tasks, like you said, anticipating intent, even. Where do you draw the line between useful and creepy, if I may say so? And how do you encode that line into product decisions?
I mean, creepy depends to which extent, right? Like I think also people now there's a lot of concern around like data privacy and all that, but it's because people haven't seen the value it can deliver to you. I think when it comes to your point, having AI will enable a much more kind of proactive approach, kind of suggestions. Think about even the future, right? Like a lot of different hardware companies have been trying to have the camera somewhere that's been on board. We've seen kind of Humane in different kind of projects in the pipeline. Like having an always on camera will make so much will create things in a very easy way. For instance, I'm trying to kind of log in my calorie count every day. It's a lot of friction because I need to manually kind of enter on my smartphone and so on. Think about having an onboarding camera It will see what you eat, calculate your calorie counts, be proactive in terms of suggestions, what you should be eating less, what you should be eating more. And all of a sudden, if it becomes that easy, where I don't need to kind of search online, okay, what diets I should be following and things like that, and AI will kind of just bring all that together, deliver right to you before you even start thinking about it. I think it's a no-brainer. It will be a no-brainer for a lot of people to take as much data, collect as much data as possible if you kind of can serve that level of concern.
Right. And Akis, every time a new technology comes along, there is a fear that comes with it, right? And with AI, the fear of job loss is very real. And of course, this happened when the internet came along, when computers came along. I want to understand your read on how this will affect jobs and how can people sort of handle what is going to hit them, whether it's now or in a year or so.
Yeah, definitely a lot of things will change. But as part of that change, there will be a lot of opportunities. I think the entry barriers to doing things, like have a more entrepreneurial journey, a lot lower than when I started like 10, 15 years ago. You can kind of create a website right away. You can create apps right away. So I think if anything, it brings a lot of opportunities. And I think that's how people should look at it. Now, one can do so many things that, 10 years ago would cost you a lot of time, would cost you a lot of money. So definitely, I think with change becomes always a bit of uncertainty and also being careful how AI is being kind of leveraged. We've seen now online a lot of like content that feels very realistic, which is kind of AI generated. This is more the sort of size that will need to be controlled, right? Because this can be quite confusing and misused in the way. So, but when it comes to kind of job loss, I think equally there will be a lot of kind of new job opportunities and people that want to get on the entrepreneurial journey, create new things, spend time on, innovation and so on. It will be things will be a lot easier.
And more entrepreneurship also, hopefully, right?
Entrepreneurship, I think it's a golden area of entrepreneurship, like the entry barriers to kind of, doing things, starting things are extremely low, a lot lower than they were, 4 or 5 years ago, and they will be a lot lower in 1 year. And, I feel every month is kind of landscape. I mean, even now, we're looking at like TV ads, all generated via AI. Before to kind of create an ad, it would cost you actually quite a lot of money, So you get started as a young entrepreneur. Now you can generate, if you have a nice creative concept, you can generate that in a very cost efficient and easy way.
All right. Coming back to nothing, India is, of course, one of your most important markets. And you would obviously be kind of looking at the Indian consumer very closely. How do you think the Indian consumer looks at AI differently from, let's say, the rest of the globe?
As a whole, the India users are extremely tech savvy, and that means from an adoption standpoint, things go very fast here. I like to think about India almost being a better testing market. I think if you succeed in India, if your product is adopted in India, it can be adopted anywhere in the world. So I think that's where for us it's been always important, and the fact that we are, the fastest growing smartphone brand here in the country for across the last kind of 2 years also gives us a lot of confidence, in terms of products, what our features, and actually we have a huge community out of India, beta testers with whom we work very closely as well on all those kind of upcoming features, the essential apps that I mentioned that you kind of vibe code yourself. Same, a lot of kind of India users were part of the journey to kind of help us kind of fine tune and refine the product. So yeah, definitely India has played a role ever since we started, and as we go into the kind of growth trajectory, and as India itself also becomes prominent on a global scale as a tech hub, yeah, our journey and the country's journey goes hand in hand.
Wonderful. And 5 years from now, Akis, what do you think, what do you hope people don't say about AI powered devices? On what do you hope they can sort of take for granted when it comes to AI?
I think 5 years from now, people will think about AI having revolutionized the way of living, like internet did. So I think this will definitely happen. Yeah, I hope those kind of new opportunities, and we'll have a lot more time back, right? So I hope this kind of time back will be used in the right way.
Right.
But aside from that, yeah, just seeing a lot of opportunities aside.
Yeah. And before we wrap up, Akis, one thing that personally excites you the most about AI and one thing that worries you the most.
Now, what excites me the most, and again, seeing through kind of essential labs, essential space that we've developed, is like kind of declutter kind of today's digital world. Like, we've been bombarded by notification. I feel all the time kind of overwhelmed, in terms of mental bandwidth, prioritization, and so on. So really looking forward to kind of AI come and eradicate all that kind of almost friction and inefficiency in a way. So that's what I was the most excited about. Even, now this morning I had to take a flight right after, actually in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I had to again manually check in and do all that stuff. AI will be able to do that right away. It will tell you like at what time I need to leave here. We'll already have ordered the cab. So, all that kind of friction and kind of mental bandwidth that goes into kind of day-to-day task will be kind of gone away. So having a lot more time back to do eventually think more about innovation and do cool stuff or spend more time with the family. And the other one, what I'm
The worry.
worry, I think, I mean, yeah, there is worry associated to kind of uncertainty in terms of, I think no one can tell you exactly how things will go down. I think we're all kind of aligned in terms of where things are heading. And with that uncertainty, like, some kind of challenges will come along.
Yeah.
I think AI will need to be kind of also controlled. There will need to be some guardrails. We've seen kind of recently as well, I think even last week, the new government passed this law to kind of label AI generated content, which again is very confusing nowadays. You on social media, you don't know what's real, what's fake, and that can be used in inappropriate ways.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, as long as those kind of guardrails are strong and in place, and then governments are also quite agile in a way to kind of react to those, hopefully we should be okay.
Wonderful. And you feel like the human layer will always be there for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, I mean, it has to. It has to. And again, I feel like if anything, it will give us the time back to kind of think about new things and do other stuff. Like, if anything, I've been hearing in a quite exponential way the word burnout.
Yeah.
I think the new generation is quite overwhelmed with all the social media and so on. So hopefully we will take a step back and start refocusing on things that kind of real matter.
Yeah. Wonderful, Akis. Thank
Okay?
you so
Thank
much.
you.
It's been lovely chatting with you.
Thank you.